After that, we go to Wawa. Give me a minute. Record video. You know why Gabriel Rosado is always going to get respect? A fighter like Gabriel Rosado, 21-8 with 13 knockouts, is always fighting tough fights. Fans will always support him, and that's why there's only going to be nothing but positive to say about him in this video. He's fighting James Kirkland, 32-1 with 28 knockouts. James Kirkland. So if you look at his last 4 fights, you got Jermell Charlo of the brothers Charlo. You got Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin. You got Jalen Love. You got Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin. Then if you count outside of his pro career, he's the BKB Middleweight Champion and beating the dog shit out of Brian Vera. And now he's fighting James Kirkland. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live, and I cover boxing. So right here below is a website, Real Combat Media. I'm in the transition of fully becoming a member of the media and a reporter. And right now, we're gonna just talk. I'm just a regular guy, just like you. So we're gonna just talk. Now, you heard what I said. Let me run it down to you. And I'll run it down to you with his pro and his outside BKPB and James Kirkland. So James Kirkland, Brian Vera, Jermell Charlo, Peter Quillin, Jalen Love, Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin. Now with the Golovkin fight, it is said that Golovkin was sick. Golovkin had the flu or whatever the case may be. But if you look at that fight, that was a fight where it looks like maybe Rosado going later on into the fight could have exposed some things about Golovkin, or maybe even won the fight. But that's up for debate. That's the way I felt. I felt like, wait a minute, this fight is starting to get close. But then, if you don't remember, that's the fight where he got the cut. If you don't know about the cut, the cut has played a role in his career as of late. The cut has been surgically repaired, via plastic surgery. And the scar tissue is supposed to be gone. Now, if you don't know about the cut, I'm not going to get into it, But moving on, the Jalen Love fight was supposed to be the official fight, in my opinion, that Jalen Love was supposed to lose. I forgot what undercard that was. I believe it was Mayweather. Was it Mayweather versus Canelo? I don't remember. Not even gonna. But it was ruled a no contest. Why? Because Jalen Love failed a test for banned substance. No contest. But in my opinion, Rosado won anyway. You move on to Peter Quillin. Peter Quillin, good 160-pound middleweight, a smaller 160-pound guy right now. He's walking around like 180. I don't know what he is now. If you don't know, he most recently dropped his WBO title, 160 title that Rosado fought for. And now I guess he's going to be fighting Danny Jacobs for the 160 WBA world title, not the WBA super world title, which is the one that Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin has. So when you look at that fight, the Peter Quillin fight, what happens during the Peter Quillin fight when it looks like Rosado is going to start closing the distance? He started having Quillin in the corner, even though Quillin dropped him mean in the corner. And you got to see the fight to understand what I'm talking about. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the fight on the Real Combat Media like page on Facebook. So therefore you can get your research on. But what happened during that fight, once again, when Gabriel Rosado started to somewhat take over and look like, oh, he could probably be a middleweight champ again. So a close fight, or a fight that looked like it was closing the distance with Golovkin. And now you have that Jalen Love fight. And then you have a fight where it looked like he was closing the distance against a Peter Quillin. What happened? The cut. The cut shows up again, and it's not over. So Peter Quillin, said he was going to give him a rematch or whatever the case may be. They're cool because Rosado on his Instagram at King Rosado, you'll find the link. He got a Peter Quillin, so they cool. And he posted at the end of the day, they got to feed their families, and that's, that's cool. That's the way it exactly is. In the ring, y'all hate each other. Y'all want to fuck each other up. You know, but outside the ring, you can still be cool and maybe take low jabs, you know, they each other talk some shit. But for the most part, it's cool to see, you know, boxers like cool outside the ring like that. You know, just like you seen Mayweather and Maidana, you know, talking, and Mayweather walk up to him and like, yo, you just tell the truth. You really, like, and this, I'm quoting, he said, tell the truth, you really punched me in my dick. You know, and this was at the end of the pay-per-view, you know, right when they were about to switch over to Brian Kenny and Paulie Malignaggi and talk about the end of the fight before the end of the broadcast. But, you know, moving on. So let me run it back to you again. And I know we got to talk about James Kirkland. You know, so this video is actually going to be kind of long. We're going to go 15 minutes. So you got Gennady Golovkin, all right? I want you to understand this. That was for the WBA title. That it looked like maybe, and I'm not saying he was. But to me, it's like, well, wait a minute, you know? And really think about it. He was the only one that made Golovkin look somewhat kind of vulnerable. Outside of maybe Curtis Stevens. But Rosado did a better job, and that's just my opinion. So, you got Golovkin. You know, I'm not even going to, I mean, Jalen Love, okay, all right, whatever. We saw he just got knocked out, start twerking. You got Peter Quillen, which was in a close fight that looked like it was going to be close before he got cut. And then we got to move on to, which is his most significant loss, that he clear-cut loss against Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo of the brothers Charlo is more of the boxer. You know, he's the one that's got the, if I'm correct, 21-0 with 14 knockouts. Whereas in his brother, Jamal Charlo of the brothers Charlo, he's the one that was supposed to fight Carlos Molina, but didn't fight Carlos Molina. He's the one that just fought, you know, the week before the Mayhem card. And he's the boxer, but he's the pressure puncher boxer. So there's two brothers, but they got two styles. So I believe Jamal Charlo of the brothers Charlo would have a better chance, or Rosado would have a better chance with him than he did with Jermell Charlo, who was the mover. You know, who was the mover. And I'm not saying Aries Landy Lara, but Aries Landy Lara-ish, and you know they have the same trainer. So what I'm trying to say is that Rosado, if you really think about it, when it comes to 154 and 160, you know, he's kind of fought like the meat of the divisions. You know, I mean, he fought the two top champions, you know, outside of, you know, at that point in time was Sergio Martinez, and he was hurt. You know, and then Felix Sturm or whatever. But what I'm saying is this. Now he's fighting James Kirkland, and I'm asking myself the question. Now let's talk about James Kirkland. James Kirkland, one time in 2013 against Glenn Tapia. One time in 2012 against Carlos Molina. Then he fought 3 times in 2011. He fought Alfredo Angulo. Remember that crazy fight of the year where he came back and knocked Angulo out. And then you have that one loss on his career against Nobuhiro Ishida. Remember, that was the guy that went and got put to sleep by Golovkin in the next round, and he was riding that, you know, like, you know, and he got that pretty Japanese wife, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. But Kirkland has been too inconsistent, and we know he's had problems, you know, outside of the ring. And I wonder, I say, well, maybe he's having some more problems, you know, and they're keeping it more under, you know, like basically they're keeping it a whole lot private for the sake of his career. Because a guy like him, he should be very active. He's 30 years old now. They say his name is always mixed up in big fights. His name has been mixed up with Canelo for the longest. Even myself had an interview with Oscar De La Hoya, and if you don't know, Canelo's name has been heavily linked to Joshua Clottey. But fans were talking, well, James Kirkland. You know, you had Demetrius Andrade calling him out, but I didn't see Canelo taking that fight and fighting him in any way. So now you're thinking, okay, all right, James Kirkland is in a fight with Rosado, but then if he loses to Rosado, my God, he's done. Now, people are saying James Kirkland. I don't know. James Kirkland, see, here's the thing. James Kirkland is kind of up and down. And remember that Carlos Molina fight that he won that ended by disqualification because Carlos Molina team ended up, like, coming into the ring before the bell, something that's rarely called, you know. And I'm thinking, you know, that the fight was kind of thrown a little bit, but that referee, I mean, it is in the rule books, so you can't be mad at the referee. But then again, I don't even know the last time I seen that referee a fight. And I think his name was John S.C.H. I forgot how to pronounce his last name. And I remember that fight because Carlos Molina was winning. And I'm talking about the Carlos Molina that's the 154-pound IBF champion right now. The one that's going to be was supposed to be fighting Jamal Charlo, the brothers Charlo. See, every time I talk about the Charlo brothers, I know who they are and I know how to, you know, seeing them, no. But seeing them in the ring, I can tell who they are if I mute the TV. So, I want fans to start getting familiar with them. You got to start knowing who they are because they're coming up, even though they're Heyman fighters. And right now, I don't know what he's doing with them, you know, but, you know, they're names that you should know, and you should know how to describe them. So, once again, Jermall Charlo is the power puncher. He's the one that has less than 20 wins, but he has a high knockout percentage. I believe he's 19-0 with 15 knockouts. Whereas in Jermell is like 21-0 or 22-0. I forgot, you know, but it's somewhere around there with like 14 knockouts or something like that, or 11. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, and I wish I could look it up, but I don't have my computer. So basically, you got one who's the pure fighter, puncher, mover, the one that fought Rosado. And then you got the pressure, Jermall, who I think Rosado will have a better chance with. So it's going to be on the undercard. It's a strong possibility. It's going to be on the undercard of Hopkins versus Kovalev, and that's crazy in Atlantic City. And my God, I'm going to be there. See, here's the thing. If everything goes to plan, I'll be going to the post-fight press conference. I'll be there for the final press conference. I'll be there for the weigh-in. I'll be going to the media day. You know, so basically what I'm saying is I'm trying to provide full coverage for this fight. So I got the interview with Oscar De La Hoya. I got interviews with Bernard Hopkins. I went to the press conference to announce Kovalev versus Hopkins. So now I got to get Rosado. Then I'm going to go to the open workout, which will probably be in Johan Gym in Philly. And, you know, try to get him there, you know, take the pictures, you know, get the video. Then go to the final press conference and everything involved in that week. But I don't know if I'm going to the actual fight. Now, here's the thing. Here's how I feel about that. It's such a big fight that I want to cover it, you know, on YouTube. But going to the fight will be the experience, and I'll be able to get all that video and stuff from inside the fight. But I won't be able to do my videos till later on. So I may cover the fight from the hotel room, you know, and just go to like the post-fight press conference. But, you know, I mean, that's up for debate. Once again, I'm TstreeT Controversy, and it's TstreeT Controversy Live around the boxing forum. So you got to send me a friend request to right below. I'm going to give a shout out to GTM Sports Banners, who make my sports banners, the ones, you know, you see up there. Real Combat Media, the official website I'm working with. And my editor-in-chief, and I'm not going to say his name. I don't know if I'm going to say his name, but for Real Combat Media. And also El Diablo Sports Apparel. I got some apparel now. So basically, soon I'm going to just start wearing all El Diablo hats. Simple as that. I'm going to start hiring a team sometime at the end of this year, so you know we're getting things popping. TstreeT Controversy. Look right below. The Facebook is right there. It says TstreeT Controversy. You got to send a friend request. I got to screen you. Like, I got to be honest with you. I didn't realize until a few days ago that I have hundreds of former and current world champions. And that's not just I'm not even counting the people that work, you know, in boxing, the trainers and all that. Like, it's not just some regular guy's Facebook. You know, and it's very active. It's very controversial. But for the most part, you'll learn a lot. We all educate each other in that form. You'll learn a lot. And tempers will get testy. Like I said, I'm a regular dude, so you curse me out, I'm going to curse you out. Simple as that. Especially if you catch me on a bad day and you come into my boxing forum talking shit. But then after that, we're going to be cool. Huh? Alright, I'm human. Once again, subscribe. TstreeT Controversy. TstreeT Controversy Live.